Howdy, everyone. This is the Busted Knees and Pretty Trees podcast. We're back this week to continue our tantalizing take on trail attire. Listen in if you want to keep comfortable and dry out there in the elements. From your toes to your knees to your cheeks and those sensitive bits in between, we've got you covered. As always, we appreciate your ears. I am Travis White, and I'm wearing moisture-wicking pants that can transform into moisture-wicking shorts.
Yeah, they are.
They come in handy when the temperature on the trail or in the club gets real hot real quick. Maybe not the club, unless you're flush with swagger. Speaking of swagger, his tree trunk legs would be the envy of Viking berserkers. He needs special hiking socks that won't get ripped to shred by his big old calves. I give you Asterisk Patrick Richardson.
Oh, my God.
I love it. That's awesome.
That is so great and terrible. My family listening to this right now up in Detroit is going there, or anyone in my fantasy league is going to be absolutely on board with what you just said. But I assume you're alluding to my fantastic come behind victory the other night.
Perhaps.
Yeah, perhaps. Well, that was a great intro nonetheless. Thank you, Travis J. Like most nights, I am unbelievably happy to be here.
Did you know the spelling sounds like asterisk? Asterisk?
Yes.
I would say asterisks.
Well, I think that's just us.
All right.
You know.
Let's see if Brad knew that. Any pavement.
Now I'm going to say, yeah, of course.
Any pavement can be a formidable obstacle for this guy's baby ankles. Yet, with the proper boot and ankle support, he can crush those mountain trails. He does have grown man calves like Patrick.
Oh, yeah.
Asterisk Bradrick Greer. How do you say asterisks, Brad?
Like it's spelled. Asterix. Oh, shit. Asterisk.
Oh.
How do you say the S before the K?
Asterix.
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 Asterix. But
Weird.
didn't you spell it R-I-S-K to end?
Yes.
So do you say asterisk?
Yeah.
Or asterisk?
We're from the Midwest. We just combine letters and don't think about
Asterisks.
it. We just say, oh, sorry, and we move out of your way and we don't think about how we said it.
Just moving by.
Oh,
There's the news, Panther.
dude, yes.
All right.
There's
Did you have
some
anything
stories.
else, Travis?
No.
Okay.
But
For a
I
second.
heard you talking earlier about the news stories that the Panther brought you. I'm pretty excited about this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So am I.
This week was rabbit hole city for the News Panthers. I was going down every rabbit hole I found.
Wait, you or the News Panther?
What do you mean?
Who was going down this gosh darn path of news?
Well,
It's the Panther on the prowl, man.
I got to do the Panther justice when I present the stories.
Okay.
Get all the facts.
Yeah.
I'm in.
So to start off with, have you guys ever heard of narwhals?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
They've got the big, straight, like,
The unicorn of the
unicorn horn.
seas.
Yeah. So this first story is about narwhals. A little background on narwhals. They are a species of toothed whales native to the Arctic. They're kind of an anomaly because they're the only member in its genus, which is the Monodon. But the family that they're in only has 2 members. Can you guys guess what the second one is?
The other toothed
narwhal.
whale.
It's not necessarily toothed. What's like a whale that looks not like other whales that
Oh, gosh.
Killer whale.
lives in the
whale?
Arctic?
Oh,
Beluga whale.
beluga whale.
It was one of those things because I stopped and thought, like, what's the other one?
Baby
and then once I
beluga
read
in the
beluga
deep blue
whale,
sea.
I was like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense.
All right. Yeah.
The family that they're in is the Monotodontae, and that's within the Cetaceous order, which that includes whales, dolphins, and porpoises.
This is a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. I'm following you.
The main reason I walked down this road was because when I was looking this up, I think it was on Wikipedia, it says that cetacea comes from the Latin word cetus, which means whale, and then cetea means huge fish or sea monster. So, yeah, that's That's makes
Not
perfect
just
sense.
a creative name.
Yeah. All right. Back on topic. So they're relatively small and live around the coastal regions and pack ice in the Arctic Ocean. The narwhal itself is stocky with a blunt snout, a huge melon, and a shallow ridge in place of a dorsal fin. I think that's one of the other things that makes them look weird is they don't have a dorsal fin.
That's
It's-
their back fin.
yeah, like on a think
Like
of
a
like
dolphin?
Yeah, so it's just like a thin dorsal fin that goes all the way down its back.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Cool. I think I've never noticed that because I just stare at its large unicorn tusk.
and they're anywhere from 4 to 9 feet
9
long,
feet?
and the size of its
Holy cow.
tusk correlates with the size of its testes.
Yeah.
So
Durr.
What in the world?
yeah,
Doesn't surprise me.
so the tusk is actually a canine tooth, and mainly males have the tusk. Like rarely they do find females that have a tusk, but it's just a tooth. Like it's the same. It's a canine. Kind of crazy.
That is so crazy.
Where's their mouth?
I think it's under the tusk. I think. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's
That picture you
surrounding
got
the
is very
tusk.
confusing.
Yeah, because if it's a tooth,
Man, that's wild.
yeah. But they do like the tusk is one of the purposes is for attracting females and then fighting other males to gain a female, like to win over the female.
Do they have any footage of a narwhal fight?
Yeah. I was just going to ask that.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
That sounds brutal.
Because
Brutal.
because the main point of the story that I'll get to eventually, I promise, is coming up, and it involves getting video footage of
Oh, here we go.
narwhals. So this tooth tusk, like I said, it serves as a weapon, and it's also a tool for feeding. They'll use it to forage through like kelp and vegetation in the ocean, and they can like kill fish with it. It's used for attracting mates, and it also senses the salinity of the water. I think to make sure they don't get into too much like brackish or fresh water
Oh, wow.
because they're a saltwater animal. So the main point of the story is that scientists observed a new thing that the narwhal does with its tusk, and it fucks around with fish with it. It kind of plays cat and mouse, like just slapping them around. There'll be like the video footage is of 3 narwhals, and they're just like dribbling a fish back and forth. Like it'll scoot away, and they'll catch up and surround it and knock it back into the others, and they're
Wow.
just like playing with it.
With their tusks?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a video of it. I'll show you guys here after the recording. But yeah, it looks like they're dribbling it down a court and the fish can't get away.
Whoa.
Yeah. And it's like a decent, I mean, narwhals are pretty big, and this seems like a pretty decent sized fish too.
Wow.
I believe it was a North Atlantic char. A quote from Greg Okori Crow, who is a biologist from Florida Atlantic University Harbor Branch Oceanographic. Did I spell that wrong?
Oceanographic?
Isn't that sound weird?
Oceanographic?
Yeah. Institute. Whatever Patrick said before that. The dexterity and use of the tusk was what was really striking. It's like they're not wielding a broadsword. They're using a very precise surgical instrument. So like it's very evident in the video that they're not trying to kill it, because normally they can just like whack it with it and it'll either knock it out or kill it, and
Right.
then they eat it. And this one, they're just like tapping it back and forth, just playing with it.
Wow.
So I thought it was fun, like they're out there playing
Having
around.
fun.
Yeah. The boys will be boys.
Yeah.
Blows my mind that evolution was just like, yeah, this is the path to go.
Yeah.
This is it.
and they're such a specific, like they're the only one in their genus. Like it's a very rare, specific, them and beluga whales are pretty unique.
And there's no other whales that have anything like that, right? I mean, it's
No. Yeah. Not
it's such a
tooth tusk.
yeah, such a kind of a weird thing that made it through.
Mm-hmm.
Cool
So-
though.
So the next story, this is the one that really had me going down rabbit holes.
Let's rabbit hole together, News Panther.
Let's do it. This one comes to us from the Yukon Today, which seemed like a student or it's a school newspaper, but they didn't really say in their about section what this paper is. But this article was great. So this article talked about how graduate, student, and research assistant Evan Zacco used remote sensing to track and map beaver colonies.
Nice.
Yeah. So over 100 years ago in Connecticut, beavers were driven to extinction due to overharvesting from the unregulated beaver trade. But since then, beavers have made a full recovery and they're just like all over the state of Connecticut.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that was a big, even as like from the 70s, 80s, 90s, the beaver trade was still a thing. Like the beaver markets, the fur markets would go up and down. And
no kidding. I didn't know.
Oh, yeah.
Like that short of a time ago.
It's still a thing. Like beaver trapping, there's a fur market and the prices are still like fluctuating. They use, I think it's more the felt of a beaver. It's not so much the fur.
Not the fur.
Yeah.
Not the tail. Was the tail?
No, I don't think the tail really has much. Like you can eat it, but I think you just have to like boil the hell out of it.
Interesting.
So a little bit about beavers. They're a large rodent, second only to the capybara.
Ooh.
Is that Australia?
I think South America.
South America.
Dang it.
The capybara is like the friend of all animals. I've watched videos of it like swimming through crocodile infested waters and no crocodile cares. There's a capybara bar or cafe that I watched and you can go have like your coffee with capybara and you can feed the capybara like lettuce and carrots while you're just chilling.
Just really friendly.
They're like the love buckets of all the animals, you know?
All right.
I know.
I did just see a video on Reddit of one attacking a girl.
Oh, God damn it, Brad.
But
Did you have to do
but it was like such a shock.
Yeah.
They think this girl might have just like startled it or something.
Yeah, I hope so.
Sorry,
Like when the
Patty.
family
It's
dog
okay.
The family dog goes ham for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have stout bodies with large heads. They're renowned for their long chisel-like incisors that they use to cut down trees and branches. They have hand-like front feet and webbed back feet. So it makes them really bad on land, like they're slow on land, and they're really good swimmers with their web feet and their tail, which their tail is flat and scaly. I think everybody can picture a beaver tail.
Like slap the water with it, right?
Yeah. Slap some mud, pack some mud down. They live in freshwater and they're herbivores. So one well-known thing that beavers do is they build dams, but they also build lodges that they live in and like store their food in. They have their litters in, and they build these by cutting down trees, using the branches, vegetation, rocks, and mud. And then the dam restricts the flow of water, and the goal is for it to create a pond. And then in the middle of the pond is where they build their lodge. So it's like a moat around a castle.
Wow.
So I never knew this. The whole point of the dam is to either better enforce their lodge by surrounding it with more water or creating a place to build their lodge.
Holy smokes.
That's far more complicated than I would have thought.
Me too.
Yeah.
I would have thought to catch something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought they lived in the dam.
So did I
Yeah.
guess.
But yeah. So because that's like one of the top, like, you have beavers if there's a structure and it's mostly underwater. Their entrances into it are underwater. But if there's like a structure surrounded by water and then there's a dam somewhere nearby, you have beavers. Like
Dang, that's awesome.
That's pretty sweet.
And like part of this study with the way he was doing it was, it was kind of funny because this article was about this Ethan coming up with a way to track and monitor beaver activity. They never actually say what the remote sensing was. Like what I don't know what that means. So I looked it up.
Put up cameras or
Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons like he did this, because where beavers live, it's very hard to get equipment and gear to be able to monitor what they're doing and where they're going.
Okay.
So this remote sensing is basically, from what I gather, it's using satellite imaging.
yeah,
Yeah.
like to see how they change the landscape.
Yeah. And like, because there's certain satellites that's all like they're just circling Earth taking pictures all the time, and they have hundreds of them. So you can get super up to date imaging all the time. And then he linked that with like an AI algorithm that helps detect like an ecosystem that's changing. So beavers are like damming out an area and flooding, like making a wetland.
Wow.
Yeah.
A beaver can change, and I think I knew that a beaver can change entire landscapes.
Yeah.
I think that's why they're looked at as pests in some areas as well.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Cause unwanted flooding.
All that stuff.
But
Yeah.
they can create an entire ecology.
Dude, marshland,
Oh, dude.
all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff.
I do have some good info on this.
Please give it.
Yeah. Well, I think before we've brought up keystone species. I can't remember what the circumstances were, but beavers are a keystone species, which means that they have a disproportionately large effect on an environment for how many of them are in that environment.
Right,
So like a few beavers can change a whole ecosystem.
right.
Yeah, they can flood the place.
Yeah. They call it a keystone species because in an arch, the keystone is the rock on the top that holds everything in place. It has no
yeah.
pressure on it itself, but if you took it out, the whole arch would collapse. So like a good example are the wolves in the greater Yellowstone ecosystem.
Yeah,
They keep the elk, the bison, the rabbits, they keep them in check. And if they weren't there, their populations would explode. They would eat all the vegetation, and it's just like keeps going down from there.
right.
So that's a keystone species. And not only are beavers a keystone species, they're also called ecosystem engineers.
Well, absolutely. Everything you're saying right now
Yeah.
makes it sound like an ecosystem engineer.
So them prairie dogs and burrowing owls are ecosystem engineers. They can change a whole ecosystem with
Prairie
not very
dogs?
many of them. Yeah, because they're building all those tunnels and mounds in a prairie.
What's
You
the
said
third one?
owls?
Burrowing owls.
Burrowing owls.
Them I don't know. I know there's a lot in Florida of burrowing owls, but I don't know specifically. Like I'm assuming they burrow into the ground.
Wow.
Yeah. When we were talking about the nature crossings over highways and
Yeah.
stuff, like burrowing owls were part of that.
Oh,
To help them out. So I know they're a lot in Florida.
Do they not fly?
I don't know. It's a good question. We need to ask Chad that when he comes back on.
done.
This article does link. So the part of the study that this student, Ethan, was involved in is called the Connecticut Beaver Mapping. It's like a part of UConn, but they also teamed up with like Department of Energy and a lot of government agencies. But this website, the Kinetic Beaver Site Mapping, I opened that website in a different tab and I was like reading it, and I didn't realize I was on that and not the story. And I was like, man, this story has so much more than I thought it did. But it goes into like it was like super fascinating because it talks about what beavers do to a landscape, the good, the bad, the reason it's bad.
Yeah.
Like it's mainly bad because of it affects humans.
Yeah.
Like if they build a dam, it could flood your neighborhood. Your favorite Applebee's can't get those $3 Brutuses anymore. When they're left on their own, this was one thing Evan Zucco. Oh man, I've called him Ethan a couple times. Dang it. I'm sorry, Evan. Called you the wrong name. One of the reasons was because like he sees this dichotomy where we need beavers, like they're really good for the landscape, but they're also can cause a lot of damage and property damage. So he took this remote sensing and geospatial data analytics online graduate certificate program.
Holy shit.
Jesus criminy. That's longer than the title of my shoes last episode.
Yeah. That certificate's going to have a front and a back to it.
Yeah. He said that in one breath.
The longer the title. You know what I mean?
But yeah, so that he kind of recognized the fact that beavers are hard to study, and this remote sensing that he's learning about in school might be a good way. And this will help property owners and land managers kind of like see what's happening and get ahead of it before something gets flooded out.
Yeah.
Or if it's something maybe even they want to like guide it. Like
Yeah.
it'd be better if they would flood over here, not over here. Like they can kind of help it along. Evan said that beaver activity has this dual nature, so careful management and monitoring is critical to balance their ecological benefits with potential harms. The dual nature is that they can bring benefits to an ecosystem in certain circumstances, but can be bad in others. So like the good beavers do is when they build a dam, it's not watertight. So some water still, like, because that was my thought, was like, you're going to dry out streams and that's going to have repercussions down the way. But it's not watertight. So it's like obviously they're not going to make like the perfect dam. So water still keeps going down the stream. But once the pond starts overflowing, it creates little river, like they call it river veins.
Yeah.
So they either go off on their own or they eventually reconnect with the original river.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's how a marsh, like that's
Right.
one of the ways
That's
a marsh
right.
is made.
Ah, no
Yes.
shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So like creating this wetland fosters fertile soil. It brings in new semi-aquatic vegetation, which in turn attracts more fauna to the area.
Yes.
And wetlands also are like, they suck up a lot of carbon from the atmosphere. So they help mitigate climate control. Then eventually they run out of wood because they also eat the wood. I was thinking it's kind of funny. Like you find an awesome stick and you're like, man, this looks so good to eat, but I really got to use it to plug this hole in the dam.
Yeah.
So because they're not good on land, they don't go far from their lodge or their dam. So eventually they just abandon it, move downstream, or like find another place to just start all over again. And
That's what's crazy.
yeah, like just they don't like. One of the stories I read said like aspen pines, or there's like a certain tree that they just like, that's their jam. They
That's
love
the
this
good
tree.
stuff.
And if it's like 5 feet out of their range, they won't go chop that aspen tree down because they're like that worried about getting eaten by predators. So then eventually that flood or the dam will break, the pond will empty, and then you just have this like amazing fertile soil left behind from the dam. Then it becomes a meadow. Meadows attract songbirds, butterflies, like all the good stuff. And then that eventually turns back into a forest because the land's so fertile that the seeds from trees germinate. And it's just like a huge circle of life.
Okay.
Gosh darn,
Yeah.
that is amazing.
It's crazy.
And we like almost slaughtered them to
Yeah, just for their fur.
extinction.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
So I thought that was a worthy rabbit hole just because I thought it was super cool.
I
didn't
think
know
that
was
is
cool.
the most fascinating thing ever since your
Yeah.
last story.
Yeah. So props to Evan. Sorry for calling you Ethan a few times. Great job. And
Yeah, great job.
Visit that website. Even like you guys, like check out that website because it has some of his aerial imaging that he uses.
Yeah.
And like the imaging, like the pictures and stuff they have on this website
I want to see the
are
pictures.
awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll post his site too.
Yeah, we'll post all of it on Blue Sky.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's worth checking out. And
Yeah.
they go through way more in depth about like the stuff I talked about what they do to the environment. And
When we were at Eagle Marsh and taking that second trail that we took, there was a
Yeah.
beaver dam on the only running water that I actually saw at Eagle Marsh.
yeah, you
So
know,
I think that's fascinating.
and I think last time I was there, I think they knocked it out
Did they?
because there was like treads down to the river
Yeah.
and like a quarter of the dam's gone now.
Yeah. Oh,
So
Do you know if
interesting.
would the beavers come back and rebuild?
I think they
Or-
would, especially if they're still, and you know, like it's
That's
what's
a waste of good sticks.
What's funny, yeah, we already got halfway. They do because they constantly, like, while they're living there, that's their main job is repairing the dam, like keeping that dam locked, like good to
Yeah.
go. And you could see that dam. Me and Patty saw like the water was rushing around the outsides of it, like up onto the bank and down around it.
Yeah.
And I thought it's like it's weird that they cleared this area of all the little tiny trees, but no, it's the beavers
Yeah.
are taking those.
Yeah.
Like that I came to that realization when I was reading these articles.
Are they like little pointy ends, like a
Yeah,
spear?
they are. And there was a trail cam there too.
Yeah.
So they were like monitoring it.
Yeah.
I bet
Yeah.
those beavers have to be so
Oh,
annoyed.
dude. Like you come back from having like a good tree for
What a great day.
snack. Yeah.
What a great day.
Just cruising and
Yeah.
Oh,
Your
shit, the
dam's
dam.
half gone.
Again.
That was great, though. I really enjoyed that. That was the narwhal story was great. The beaver story was expanded and wonderful. That was wonderful.
Yeah, those are good ones, News Panther. Like I always say, even like animals you know about, we've all known about the beaver
Oh, yeah.
forever since
Yeah.
we were little.
Yeah.
They're very unique animals.
Yeah,
And there's always something new to learn about all of them.
dude.
Yeah.
What
That's
industrious little animals.
that's what I love about this News Panther person thing.
Yeah, the News Panther's been bringing me a lot of animal stories.
Yeah, it's so
Hot pieces.
fun to learn about these things. I mean, we have learned about the Lyle shrew. We've learned about a new plant species.
Oh, you
and-
should have asked Travis if he could name.
Don't,
yeah, I know.
don't go try impressing people.
We've learned about the narwhal, the killer whale hunting habits. We've learned about the
Indian tigers.
Indian tigers. We've just learned about so much.
Yeah.
And I would like to congratulate you both on air for getting through that whole segment without actually making a beaver joke. I was waiting for somebody else to do it, and I didn't. So way to go, guys. We have matured past that, except for this moment where I didn't mature past that.
I was aware of myself. Just don't say anything
lay low, bud.
stupid. Like say that sentence in a way that doesn't provoke anything.
So good. I don't think I actually referenced the word beaver the whole time.
I may have. Dudes, the News Panther has been on fire with these stories lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
For sure.
Yeah.
Brad, thanks for reading those stories for
Yeah.
us.
Oh, this is getting weird. Oh, I love it.
All right, so we're going to get to the meat of the business of this episode, which is the second half of our clothing for your lower body.
Yeah.
And Patrick, I asked you which direction you wanted to start.
Yeah.
Top down, bottom up. And you said bottom up. And last week we went through boots, shoes, socks, and
Camp shoes.
camp shoes. So now we're back for this week because it doesn't end there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got pants, undies. That's
Belts.
pretty important out
Yeah.
there on the trail.
Yeah.
Got to keep
So-
them britches up.
Yep.
All right, so Patrick, let's get her going. Moving up the leg.
Let's
We're
go.
hitting the pants.
Yeah. Let's go. I think the first kind of major question that if you're out there looking for a pair of pants that you want to ask is what the material is. I mean, like anything, if I ever see anybody on trail with a pair of jeans, I just feel really terrible for their nether regions. So I think material's kind of where I think we should start this conversation. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess the first thing I just want to say is that most good material is going to be synthetic. Any good pair of pants that I know of that are going to be durable enough for a backpacking trip or hiking trip, that are going to wick the sweat away from your body. They're going to be synthetic, which is going to be a mixture of the polyester and nylon. Like I said, this fabric is extremely durable, fast drying, and also wicks the sweat from your body. And then most of them now that you can get, they rate their SPF proof, which I think is great because I'm a really white person from the Midwest. So when I'm in the sun for a long time, I just, like, any part of me will bake. I will get red for a day, itchy, scratchy for another day, and then back to white. So just...
I think another big important thing is stretchiness. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're taking weird steps, big steps. So stretchiness is pretty important, and they're mostly all pretty stretchy.
Yeah, you don't need to expend any more energy than you need to by stretching out your pants every time you take big strides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tear proof is like another. A lot of them are like rip stop or whatever it's called.
Yep.
Like so if I know for me now, like out pushing through a woods chasing a bird down,
Oh, yeah.
you go through a lot of thorns and stuff.
Yeah.
And like these pants I've been wearing, it just like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Like I'm RoboCop out there.
Are your pants synthetic? Do you know?
I have no idea.
No?
I just know they're swishy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, because I know there's also merino wool pants that are going to be like just as durable. They're probably spectacular pants. It's just I've never owned them. And then there's also soft shell fabric as well. So, but it just seems that everybody I know has synthetic pants.
Yeah, I feel like merino wool's best left as a base layer.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like that's probably where it would serve its best purpose.
Then your soft shell would be your outer layer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe that's what it's alluding to.
Oh,
Well,
that's just what I'm thinking. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm gonna wear merino wool, it's just gonna be long underwear.
Yeah.
because like that would snag on anything.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm
Okay,
going to tell
Val.
you guys right now, I am wearing my hiking pants.
Yeah, I could tell.
I kind of lied earlier about the
Convertible.
convertible pants. I wasn't
Yeah.
really wearing them, but I did check my pants when you asked.
Yeah.
and they are 100% polyester.
Wow.
And these things are amazing. I've had dogs jump on me and scratch down these pants.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
They're good to go.
Those pants are
Very durable.
Would it be safe to say that those pants are probably your favorite backpacking purchase you've made in quite some time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In combination with the REI thermals that I bought.
Oh.
It's amazing.
Okay.
But we'll get to thermals
Yes,
at
you know-
another point.
At another point.
Well, and I'll say too, Travis's pants bring up like they're kind of like joggers where the bottoms
Yes.
has a what do you
It's
call
tighter
that?
to your
like
ankle.
a scrunchie on the
Yeah.
bottom.
Yeah.
Where like my biggest complaint with most backpacking pants is they're super baggy,
Oh man.
especially like at
Oh.
the feet.
That's
So-
what I love about these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can just move about.
Yeah.
They're so light. It's almost like you're not even wearing pants,
Yeah.
but they're
Right.
very durable, and they're not swooshing around.
Yeah.
Dude, because I 100% agree.
Yeah.
It is the worst when your pants start to get a little bit moist and sweaty and they just kind of droop like now you're wearing Jinko jeans or
Yeah.
something on trail and it's obnoxious.
And
it's
you're-
obnoxious.
yeah,
It's
like-
crazy.
Like the bottom like cuffs are
Yeah.
just soaking
Yeah.
wet. And
Yeah.
You're just kicking them. And
Yeah.
they're-
I don't
yeah.
know if you guys feel this way, but I don't like to hear myself hike.
yeah.
Oh no.
I just like to hear what nature's.
I'm not sure if I
got to
ever thought
offer.
about it, but I would agree. If I was just hearing this constant swishing
Yeah.
sound
Yeah.
or whatever, I'd be a little bit like, oh, shut up,
Even
man.
people that stomp their boots when they're
Oh, yeah.
like,
Yeah.
come on.
Well, that's one thing since Chad Fitzpatrick was on, my birding friend, he talked about like moving through the woods, like you're part of it.
Yeah.
So I've been more conscious of that lately.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like I get more enjoyment when I am just kind of like quietly.
Yeah.
I'll stop for like 10 seconds, just keep moving.
Yeah.
And just sometimes it's also just because I want to make sure the Merlin app picks up any bird calls. So I can't make too much noise.
All right, let's move forward. We got a lot to cover
Yep.
again tonight. We want to make this a two-parter,
So-
not a three-parter. So
Yeah.
I'm curious because we were talking about how you don't like how our backpacking pants would droop or at the ankles sag a lot. So I guess where I'm going with that is what are the different types of backpacking or hiking pants? And I think one of the ones that I've been kind of impressed with recently is the roll-up pants. I know one of the brands that I've been looking at is Cotopaxi. They make a really durable pant. I can't remember the name right now, but anybody listening could go Google that. They make a really durable pant, and at the bottom it kind of rolls up like 2 rolls and then clips. And yeah, I thought that was kind of cool just for those kind of days where you're just out hiking and it's just, I mean, you don't think it'd be
It's like
that
pulling
much.
your sleeves
Pulling
up
your
a
sleeves
little.
up. Yeah, exactly. You don't think it'd be like that much, but it seems like it would be cool. And I think like when you get to camp, we were talking last week with the camp shoes or with the sandals, you take off your socks, you roll up your pants. It just seems like it's kind of cool. And it might, when you're going through a creek or when you're going through a puddle of mud,
Yeah.
you can just roll those things up and then you won't necessarily have that problem.
You're out there.
So I thought that was cool.
Huckleberry Finn.
Huckleberry Finn, yeah, exactly, with a pair of capris on.
So is it like a wider leg?
No,
and you can
Like a
roll it
tight
up?
roll.
Yeah, it's a tight roll. I don't.
Oh, it is a tight roll.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're not boot cut
Oh,
pants.
so you're
like
not
they're
getting like airflow up through that?
That's what I was
No,
saying. wider.
well, I don't think they're like.
Maybe not.
Well, okay,
maybe
they're-
not our legs,
they're-
right?
yeah, no
Fellow
shit.
Tree trunkers.
There are probably tight rolls on us, but not for somebody like you, Mister
They're not
Pussy
sticks,
Calves.
Okay. They are-
baby calf.
They're
Baby
slim.
calves,
me
dude.
baby ankle.
Yeah. But I just thought that was cool.
Yeah, at first I thought it sounded silly, but now I think you have me sold.
Yeah, honestly, so did I until I started looking up like reviews and different videos on people just like wearing them.
Yeah.
Because also just on like a nice summer day where you're just going to take a walk to like roll those babies up, let the yeah, you can.
Plus, it'd be funny
just
if
get those going right
Well,
there.
that's another kind of backpacking pant
They're
is the
very nice.
joggers. They're
Yeah.
like Brad alluded to, they're really taking that idea of like the workout pant and taking that to the trail and just making that workout pant with 100% polyester or the synthetics. And that gives that tight at the bottom there with the elastic bottoms. They're hugging you.
Yeah.
So it's also, I mean, that's just another style of backpacking pant.
I wear long socks and
Yeah.
just put the pants right over top of those.
Yeah.
I got that nice barrier, and the breeze goes
Yeah.
right through these babies.
be tick proof.
Yeah, they would be tick proof.
Well protected.
I wish I had those yesterday. Good Lord. All your listeners out there, I was out birding for 3 hours last night and got a tick on my side that I didn't see for like just around 24 hours.
It's kind of crazy. A tick in middle of March
Yeah.
in northern Indiana.
And your wife burned it off with a lighter.
Yeah, and now my side hurts. Yeah.
I tell you, well, one
go
pant
ahead.
that I always thought was like the greatest idea, but I just can't wear them just because I don't know. Like, I feel nerdy wearing them, but they're the convertible, like zip off, turn your pants into shorts.
Yeah.
By
Zip off
unzipping
veteran.
the bottom leg part. Travis introduced these to me back in 2014.
You didn't know they existed?
No, you might have been the first person I ever saw actually wearing them.
I thought they were so cool. I bet I thought they were so cool.
But yeah, I mean, in theory, that's like great
Yeah.
because then you don't need to bring pants and shorts. They're all the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, that would be awesome.
I was looking for function over form, no doubt.
Dude, I think that it would still be a spectacular idea. Maybe I'm just looking too much into the style part of it, just like my off-trail personality is taking effect in my on-trail personality. But I think it'd still be a wonderful design if the pants weren't always so baggy.
Yeah.
That's the problem. They're
That
so
is the
baggy.
Yeah,
problem.
because those shorts go way below the knee.
Yeah, and I'm like
on
a
those.
5-inch inseam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like skies out, thighs out. That's my motto on life. One of them.
But then you'd have to add another zipper so you could get those tight little leg sleeves off. You know?
That's true, dude. But then I
And
just
that
have like
adds to it.
what are they called? Gaiters or whatever?
Waiter, yeah. I think I know what
Gators,
you're talking
right?
about.
Something like that, where you
Yeah.
put them over your shin. Then I just have protection if I can't get them
Oh,
actually
yeah.
around
And
me.
one thing I do have to mention is when I wasn't out hiking in those, and in the mornings you would usually start with the sleeves on them,
Yeah.
and then it gets hot out and
Yeah.
you take them off.
Well, no, that's obviously
yeah.
That's duh. Like that's what you do.
Well, there was a period of time when I was home, and I was just like, I'm just going to wear these as shorts.
Shorts, yeah.
And then I'd wash those shorts, and I'd
Yeah.
wash
Oh,
those
yeah,
shorts,
I
and I'd
remember
wash
this.
those shorts. But I never washed the sleeves. And then one time I tried to put them back together, completely different colors. The shorts were so faded.
That's
I
great.
think
Yeah.
I think you may have worn them on a trip like that, and it was when we got out there. You were like, "Oh shit!"
Not putting these on.
That's great, dude.
What in the world?
So
Great.
So another kind of pant that I think we should discuss just for a second is kind of like a different concept, but the rain pant.
Yeah.
What do you guys feel? Do you pack rain pants? Is that a necessity for you?
Me, no. Just because, well, even before, it just wasn't. I'd rather just kind of deal with getting my legs wet and
Yeah.
everything else is dry. I
Yeah.
can, I'll have shorts for later or whatever. But yeah, I never really, and usually, if you don't want to wear ultra absorbent pants when you're out there, so you have pants that can dry out easily or whatever. So it's, to me, getting my legs wet is not a big deal, but you're also losing that any protection like down your boot, and that could get bad. But Brad, you were kind of nodding. You do,
Yeah. I think
have
you
some
do
rain
carry
pants.
rain gear, right?
Yeah, I've always had a pair of like a rain jacket and rain pants.
Frog Tog?
I started with Frog Togs.
Yeah.
What I have now is the REI Co-op Trailmade. They're a cheaper version of the REI rain gear. So I've always had them on every trip, and I've never put rain pants on once.
Yeah.
But like I still bring them. And
Have you hiked through rain?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At
because
least
you guys notoriously have never actually experienced bad weather on trail together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, every trip we've
like,
taken has been
like
beautiful.
we may get just a quick, like small shower,
Yeah.
but not even enough to get you like soaking
Right.
wet.
You know what
but-
is I think I'm getting rewarded because down at Fort Campbell in the back 40, I mean they say you're not training if it ain't raining.
No. Yeah.
So, and it really, I don't know why, that's really how it felt like.
Yeah.
Why we're going out now for 2 weeks because there's a storm coming in.
Yeah. Part of the reason I bring them too, not because I'm kind of the same as Travis. Like if it's raining, like so wet my legs can get wet. But it's also like I'm prepared for if the weather just turns extremely cold, like that. Like rain pants keep your heat in, just they don't let heat out. You know.
Yep.
That's kind of one of the problems with rain gears.
Yeah.
You just sweat.
Yep.
But and like a wind blocker, if it is like 40 degrees and windy. That's kind of one of the main reasons, just to make sure I have something that will keep me extra warm. But I do every trip, I reconsider it.
So we've been talking about pants. Let's talk about the pants we've been wearing.
Yeah.
Patrick, what are you going with?
I lately, for the last probably 2 years, like you and your Columbia boots from last episode, I rock Columbia gear. I don't rock anything above the waist Columbia, but for some reason, I just really like their pants and like their shorts. I like their waist, how it's an elastic waist. They have a little draw belt on them, but I never use those because I just fit in that perfect XL size.
Nice.
I
do
know,
believe-
it's nice.
I do believe my convertible pants were Columbia.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. They're not convertibles because I'm not a nerd. Sorry for all you nerds
don't
out
wear
there.
them anymore.
I'm kidding. Wear what makes you feel comfortable. But yeah, I rock Columbia. Brad?
Nice. I've kind of run through the gambit a little bit. I had the Cool KUHL. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Cool. But those were like crazy baggy. So I got a pair of Eddie Bauer First Ascent.
Oh, yeah.
They're like always on sale.
Yeah.
But that does seem like kind of their top level. But I randomly came across a pair at Sierra that were $19.99 and they seemed nice, like legit. So I bought them. The brand was called American Outdoorsman. And I liked them so much, I went back and bought 3 more pairs.
Dang.
So like now I feel like I'm set for a while.
What kind of pant is that you're talking about, bro?
It's kind
Oh.
I mean, it's kind of like your stereotypical like hiking pant material, but they actually have a taper to them. So that was the thing that I really liked about them is I have tree trunks like Patty, and usually you have to get something super baggy, but these are like for me just the right taper.
They're just right.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's what it takes is just
Yeah.
finding the
Yeah.
right pant because they're all different
Yeah.
size and everything.
And it has like a lot of belt loops because I don't like when pants only have like 5 belt loops
Yeah.
and your belt can barely work. So it has a lot of belt loops, a zipper pocket.
Good support.
Yeah.
Storage.
Nice.
Travis, what about you?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I'm wearing these green all polyester joggers, which I hate to admit it, but they are Patagonia.
Ooh, fancy boy.
Why do you hate to admit that?
Well, because I'm kind of known for not moving along with the good stuff. And
Oh,
just,
you're not.
You're a sellout.
Travis
Yeah.
finally
on-
sold his jeans,
these
and now he's
guys-
on trail.
have been making fun of me for a long time for all my old equipment and all this stuff. And I saw these pants when we were at an REI one time, and I was like,
Well,
those
and
are really nice.
part of it
and
too
I really
is
want them.
you were in an REI and kind of like, oh, this shit is actually kind of nice.
And I was on vacation. Is when
Yeah,
I take
yeah.
the chains off of the bank account.
Oh, absolutely.
So I was like,
But I
screw
think
it.
you got
I'll
a good
buy
deal
'em.
on them too, though, didn't you?
Yeah, you
They're
did.
like $60, which I figured
Yeah, but they
Yeah,
look
that's
like you
not too
bought them
bad.
yesterday still.
Oh yeah, I can't
So,
believe
I mean,
just the damage they'll take.
Well spent $60. Way to go,
They're
Patagonia.
good house pants too.
Yeah.
just kind of walking around.
They
the
look
house, getting stuff
super
done.
duper comfy.
Yeah, oh,
No
for sure.
doubt about it. Okay, so is there anything else to consider when we're talking about pants? Because we need to move this forward. So
Just try some on
yeah,
because
Yeah.
that's really comfortability is the number one thing.
Yeah.
when you're out there.
yeah. Really, for me, I would say really pay attention to the climate. Like understand the weather you're about to walk into. I mean,
Absolutely.
obviously always be safe, but in terms of like what you're going to be wearing on the bottom half, I think it's important to understand the climate you're going to be in because then you can really choose. Because in the next segment, we're going to start talking about shorts, and then you really have to decide. I mean, for me, that's a massive decision. So that's one of them. And then also, I just really want to just don't be the guy with jeans on a trail.
I couldn't imagine.
That is terrible. Like just go anywhere and spend any amount of money on a pair of synthetic pants that are made for walking.
Yeah.
And you're gonna just feel better.
Well, it's also not entirely safe. Like that would make you cold if it's cold out.
That's true.
And they get
That's
wet.
true because that sweat ain't going nowhere,
Yeah.
and you're going to sweat more because jean does not wick sweat.
Nope.
So that's what I would say.
So you mentioned shorts.
Yeah.
That's something like that doesn't seem like it might be all that important because you don't have so much of the body that covers shorts. You just get a little bit of leg room. Let's go.
Yeah.
So what do you have to consider with shorts?
For me, it's there's a lot to consider with shorts. I mean, I'm at the point right now that I'm not even 100% sure if I would bring shorts because after Jonathan, now I'm just mindset on this potentially going lighter and lighter and lighter. So I'm not even sure if there's enough opportunity for me to wear shorts anymore. But certainly if you're hitting up a hot climate, if you know that the weather's going to be hot like that, you're going to be in a good altitude that you're just going to be able to enjoy a gorgeous day.
Yeah.
Then shorts you just have to imagine that shorts are going to be far more comfortable to hike in.
Shoot,
yeah.
I think even once it gets in the 60s, it's time to bust the shorts.
Well, I
out.
would say that's still, on trail, a 60-degree sunny day is a perfect day.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you're
That's
at
the
medium
perfect
to
day.
high altitude.
It
That's
might
great.
be a little chilly, but I mean, you're working,
You're working.
pumping those legs,
Yeah.
getting up the hills, and
And your feet are always hot because you have the wool or whatever and a big pair of boots, or I guess if you wanted to go trail shoes or runners, then maybe not so hot. But
yeah.
Me and Patty, before our last trip, months and months leading up to it, talked about shorts. Like every
Yeah.
single day.
Yeah.
You find any new shorts? Like that, we were on the search for like the best shorts.
Yeah. And,
Because it's like something hard.
It is hard. I mean, because it's clothes, and everyone that goes backpacking goes out for an extended amount of time, be it over 2 nights or a week or 2 months. The clothes that you bring is how you're going to stay comfortable. I think that's why we have a 2-part episode just on the bottoms and a 2-part episode or 3-part episode on the tops. Is that importance?
Yeah.
So when you're choosing whether or not you're going to bring pants or shorts or something like that, you really have to understand the climate you're going to be into, the brush that you're going to be walking through.
yeah.
Like he said earlier, I mean, you get caught up on thorns. If you don't have pants on, those rip stops, that's your shin taking that, or your calves.
Oh, yeah.
Ticks, chiggers. All of those things can get to you if you don't have pants. So you really want to be careful there. And then the extra warmth if the weather does change dramatically, So I guess let's say I'm bringing shorts. That's what I'm going to do. I'm on a week trip and I'm bringing shorts. Like how many pairs are we going to bring?
I feel like even if it's cold, like in the 40s, I would still wear shorts.
Yeah.
So no matter what, I'm always bringing at least one pair of shorts.
Oh, nice. Okay. Do you minus? Okay. Yeah. Do you minus pants then?
I only ever bring one pair of pants.
So 1 pair of pants, 1 pair of shorts.
And the pants usually end up being like more camp pants. When we get to camp, I put those pants on and that's it. Unless it's for some reason there's a day that dips down super cold.
Yeah.
But usually by the end of the day I'm in shorts.
Okay.
So that's Like I normally bring 2. I may start only bringing 1.
You bring 2?
Yeah.
2 pairs. I'm
two,
not.
2 shorts, 1 pant.
Wow. Okay.
2 shorts,
Yeah.
1 pant.
Yeah.
That's an interesting combo.
Yeah.
I like it.
What about you, Travis J? Then.
I always bring shorts. I found this nice pair of Nike running shorts.
Oh yeah.
They're super loose, super light. They have a basket, and I don't know. It's just they're good workout shorts.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a little sloppy, but your legs are free as hell.
Oh yeah. Nice. Nice. So how many pairs would you bring?
One,
Just
Yeah,
one.
Just
Are you
one.
1 pant, 1 short?
Well, I'm a new underwear guy every day, so
yeah.
I have that new barrier. There's nothing soaking through.
Right.
Yeah.
So still
one
bringing
short.
pants. If you're guaranteed
Oh, yeah,
to bring
always.
shorts, are you always going to have a pair of pants with you?
Yeah, I always
Yeah?
bring a pair of pants. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
All right. So pants are still like, are we
I think
all
both.
deciding to bring an extra pair of pants because, or 1 pair of pants, I should say, because of that like safety? Like if the temp drops or
Well,
if it gets
and
windy.
and comfort. Like if it is cold, I just want to be comfortable.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, and you never know at night like how much the temperature could drop, and your body's cooling down, from the big day's hike.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know if it actually, I mean, I know it gets cooler, but is your body kind of reacting? Because it always feels like I get so cold at night,
Yeah.
no matter where I am. And yeah, so a good pair of pants is
Especially
always
in the
nice.
morning when you get out of your tent.
Ooh, yeah, mornings,
cold.
big time.
One of the things when me and Patty were talking about shorts all the time was because there are so many different things that come with the different shorts. Like some of them have the problem I kept running into is I'd find them one that I really seemed like would be nice, but it had like a swimming suit liner in it. And that's
Oh,
like the
yeah.
Patagonia baggies
Yeah.
have swimming suit liners. And then I got one called like the Multi Trail, I think, from
Yeah.
Patagonia. And they have like a boxer brief liner.
So a
in
longer
it.
liner.
Yeah. And I don't get why like all these hiking shorts have liners in it.
Why?
Like-
That's the workout kind of short too. I see them all.
Yeah.
Do
Chubbies
you
has
not
them
like
out
it,
now.
or
No, I don't like it.
So
you like
you-
the basket style?
Because I put a lot of thought, like I put a lot of thought into my underwear too. So I don't want that to
Yup.
restrict my underwear
Yep,
decision.
I absolutely agree.
And it's not comfortable enough.
To get rid of underwear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I absolutely
really
agree.
weird.
That
No,
is
it's-
weird.
Yeah, like would it be an extra layer of insulation if you needed it though?
No.
No.
It's like swimming suit liner.
Oh, is it mesh?
Some of it.
Ugh.
The multi ones from Patagonia, those are like almost like a workout
Yeah.
underwear.
Like a spandex
Yeah.
kind of thing?
Do your
Yeah.
Nike shorts have the liner then?
No.
They don't?
Yeah, they just
Oh.
have the swimming suit mesh or whatever it is.
Liner.
Oh, I was confused. I thought you meant the.
Well, there's different types of liners. Like what
Yeah.
he's saying is that the Patagonia baggies have like the more workout liner,
Yeah.
and then you're saying you have the mesh liner.
Like it comes down lower on your leg.
Okay.
yes,
Those, not
Yes.
mine, but what you're talking
yes,
about.
yes.
And
Yeah.
both. Kind of like the tidy whitey style
Yes.
and the boxer brief. that
Mine
go
are the
down your
tidy
legs.
whitey style.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Oh.
And it does seem like at first it's uncomfortable, but you just kind of forget about it real
Yeah.
quick. So,
It kind of nestles into its place,
Yep.
and then you're fine.
And everything is contained nicely, and you can just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Just thrust those legs.
Boom, boom, boom. Thrust those legs.
Just go till your knee gives out.
Yeah. And then
other-
turn around and do the same.
The other pair of shorts, or the other kind of version of shorts that I think I see all the time, is the cargo short. We've all seen those, and backpacking definitely has their versions of the cargo shorts out.
Yeah, hell, in the military, you wear cargo pants.
Yeah, well, I get it in the military. I understand that you're carrying
I
quite
never
a.
used them.
No, you didn't?
Did you ever use them?
Put like water bottles in them.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
That's about the only.
I wonder why you were wearing cargo pants then.
They're just kind of not reliable. If you put anything in them, they'll just
it's
pop
like a,
out.
It's like a Velcro
Yeah.
lid on it.
Yeah, as I was preparing for this episode and looking up the different kinds of pants, the cargo pants, I have never, or the cargo shorts, I've never been a cargo short or pant type of person.
Yeah.
Just I've never had enough stuff on person to need to stuff it all into my
Yeah.
cargo pockets. So I think that I can definitely understand as a backpacker or hiker when you feel like, oh, I'll just put my phone in there or my ear pods or
Yep.
my map or whatever it is. Like, I do understand that, but I really think that if you're choosing pants and that's like I'm going to get cargo pants to carry more.
Yeah.
I really think you should probably just take a step back for a second, understand the gear, your accessories that you're taking, and kind of take a look through that and maybe minimize that a bit more.
Yeah, because I feel like the only thing I have in my pockets of my pants or shorts
Yeah.
is my phone.
Yeah.
Like and that may even be in one
Yeah.
of my hip pouches on my
Mine's in
pack.
my hip pouch.
Like
yeah.
I usually don't put any. I don't want them pulling my pants down.
Yeah.
Like messing up my setup. You
Yeah,
know?
you were just commenting about the bagginess,
Yeah.
of the pants or the
Yeah.
shorts, and that's
and then
just
you got
gonna do
this
worse.
weird weight
Yeah.
swinging next to
Yeah.
your leg if it's not packed tight.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
It's not tight around your leg. So
I mean, by all means, go out and buy whatever you feel is comfortable and you think is going to extend your experience. I'm all for whatever. I would never poop on anybody for wearing them, but I think we all
about
agree
it.
that you should probably give it a second thought.
throw
Yeah.
light stuff, soft stuff in there if you really need to.
Yeah. I do one of the the short that I landed on, and now I'm like, that's my go-to short is the North Face Wanderer. It has no liner. They're not baggy. They're above my knee. They have pockets, like they're perfect. They're exactly what I need. They're super durable.
Did you wear those last summer?
Yeah.
Dude, those
Yeah.
look good.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Dang, and you
Nice.
look good.
Hell yeah.
Form
Da-
and function.
ass.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I just they looked comfortable.
Yeah.
I like my Columbias. I definitely look at like those style that you're talking about, or even like you're talking
Oh,
about.
you went with Columbia shorts as well?
I went with Columbia shorts as well. Yeah.
Okay.
I was, for the shorts and the pants that I have are very old school, classic hiking pants or shorts.
Yeah.
My pants are the same thing as my shorts. It's just one's a shorter version.
Yeah, okay.
There are shorter.
You don't
it's
have to
just,
summer
unzip them,
pants?
right?
yeah. I don't have to unzip them. I have to take separate pairs. But I don't know. I like those. It's just the more I see the evolution of under the or below the belt clothing, it seems like it's all like the workout world is meshing with the backpacking world more and more. And I do like this. I mean, if it's comfortable enough for me to do 5,000 squats and a bunch of pull-ups, it's probably going to be comfortable enough for me to walk on trail
Absolutely.
if you change that fabric just a little bit. And
Yeah.
so that's where I it's like really melding. So I've kind of I'm like you, Travis, where I just kind of have like, I'm having this tough time like transitioning into a pair of joggers, or because joggers still to me is workout, not backpacking.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
not that kind of durability.
and I will admit they feel a little thin at times.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Patty won't even wear his hiking or his backpacking shoes at home.
No.
Like
What?
those are for backpacking.
No, I it's true. I know that backpackers have scoffed and probably will scoff after listening to this. The way I treat my backpacking clothes is when I'm off trail, they go to the washer. I dry them, air dry them, and then into my bins in my gear area.
Wow.
And that's where they sit, because like my boots, I've worn them the last time we went birding, but that's it since we were off trail last year. I like that separation of church and state.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like
I wear my
want-
jacket.
Yeah.
I wear the pants. All winter I was wearing the thermals. My boots I wear every day.
Yeah, I
my
feel-
socks I wear every day.
I feel like it's part of I wear my socks all the time, but I will, before I go on trail, I will buy 3 new pairs of socks.
It's a slippery slope.
It's fun.
You're wearing those socks.
Well, I think it's slippery to wear all the time though, because when, I don't know, for me, part of doing an activity is doing all the things for that activity.
Oh, okay.
Like sliding into that shirt that you remember being so comfortable last year or last trail. Like, oh, I'm finally back on trail. I can put this sun shirt
See,
on and enjoy it.
And I'm almost the complete opposite. like I'm going to use the shit out of this and then buy all brand new shit the next time we go on a trip. So I have that to look forward to.
Yeah.
Basically, Brad and I walk around Fort Wayne looking like hikers
Oh,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
the time.
I just ripped a lace in my boot yesterday.
Respect. I wear my Vans all the time, but
My Columbia laces, solid.
so is there anything else to consider when we're talking about backpacking shorts or hiking shorts? Anything you guys would consider?
I say we move on to underwear. We've broached the topic a couple times
Okay.
because this was another thing I've done probably way too much research into is finding the perfect underwear on the trail. What's something you guys consider when you're looking at underwear?
Dude, first of all, I remember planning for that Tetons trip and looking up underwear with you and talking underwear in front of people at work
And you're,
and talking about some of the styles of underwear at work is probably not the most appropriate thing to do. But it is, in terms of evolution of underwear, there's no better place to look than the backcountry.
you were
with
even
backpackers.
like messaging website customer service guys talking about underwear.
Oh man, I got hot and heavy.
It really is kind of super important.
Yeah.
For anybody that doesn't know me,
If
or
you're not commando.
yeah, well, I don't know if I would ever do that. That's
risky.
That's a game. Yeah, it is risky business. Going commando. I know people do. That ain't me. I'm also. I was gonna say I'm about 6'3", 6'4" on trail. I've probably get down to about 250 before I start my hike, and I'm a big old dude.
Yeah.
And I chafe. I have all the frustrations that any big old dudes have out there. And underwear, the more I started learning about the evolution of underwear, the more I became privy to the idea that what's going to stop you from having those feelings on trail, the first thing that's going to stop you, just like sores and blisters on your feet, and that's where your socks are, not your boots, your socks. The underwear's it, dude. That's going to stop you from all that pain and suffering
Oh, yeah.
on trail. Not to mention smelly smells, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
That's an ongoing battle the entire time. The smelly smells.
Yeah. So I guess the first thing that I would look for is the material. Once again, the material that it's going to be made out of. I think one of the largest like materials that I've seen in underwear is going to be, once again, your Merino Smart Wool, because it's durable, it's antimicrobial, and it also wicks sweat from your body.
Yep.
So that's, I mean, just go to, in most any situation where you want to wick sweat from your body, Merino wool is just like the tried and true. Like it's been there forever. It's the way to go. You're not going to fail unless you want to try some synthetics, things along those lines. The pair of underwear that I have is Ex Officio Boxer 2.0s. And dude, I love them. I sometimes wear these underwear for a week straight in my normal life.
2.0s.
And I'm just like, this is heaven.
Damn.
I don't do undie laundry. I never smell. They're the best, dude.
That's
they are the
awesome.
best, dude. I'm telling you.
What do you mean you don't do undie laundry?
Undie laundry, dude, where you got your pack of, you got your thing of undies that you wash at the end of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Now I have two.
You only wear 2 pairs of underwear?
I was
What did he
saying.
say? He said he wore them wears them 5 days straight.
Sometimes, bro.
No way.
Dude, those Ex Officios, this is what I'm saying is the evolution of underwear. Look no further than backpacking,
It's
hiking
the evolution
underwear.
of material science.
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
Because
But they're amazing.
There's
can't
also
believe that.
like the micro modal. You see that in a lot
That's
of
right.
underwear,
I've heard
and that
of
kind of
that.
has the same properties: moisture wicking. They kind of repel smells.
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure how that works, but it definitely works.
I think that the anti-smell is kind of directly correlated with the antimicrobial.
Yeah.
So I think the more microbes and bacteria and stuff starts building up in your nether regions, and then your undies start to smell. So if that doesn't happen, if it's antimicrobial, your scent starts going away. So after a week on the trail, you don't have that musk going on.
Yeah. I'd like to wear generally, my go-to lately has been like the Nike workout underwear
Oh yeah.
things. And it's kind of the same, like the same almost with everything in backpacking. You have down and synthetics, wool and synthetics, and it's the same thing with like the underwear and all that. These are probably I'm taking a stab in the dark. I'm assuming they're fully synthetic.
Yeah,
but they're
are these
nice.
dry fit?
Yeah,
That dry fit.
yeah.
Okay, yep.
And so like I like the longer ones just so I know they don't bunch up. They kind of get over the hump of my big legs and stay in place, and they're stretchy and super comfortable.
Yep.
That's kind of what I've always been sticking with. For
I
a
know
while.
because I have those Nike undies.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you wear too?
Yeah.
Nice.
And they stay right in place. There's no problem. And it's almost like they're not even there, really,
Yeah.
because they're so light, and the band around your waist is nice and thick
Yeah, it
and
is thick.
wide. So
Like
you don't feel it like just clamping down on you. It's almost like they're not even there.
not
They're
thick,
great.
like sticking out thick.
They're boxer brief style
Yeah.
with like little cup. Well, do we want to talk about the different styles of underwear?
Yeah, let's get into the styles for sure.
So we got I call them boxer briefs
That's right.
with the little nice little model thing. You could put a cod piece in.
I
Or
don't
something.
think you call it that. I think that's what they're called.
I don't know what it's called. Patrick, you probably know what they're called better than I do.
No, boxer briefs.
Boxer briefs,
I was
like
saying,
they're tighter,
Yeah.
like briefs, but
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
long like boxers.
Yep.
Yeah.
I definitely I looked into these.
That's
I
all I
called
wear.
REI about these things. That is all I wear. But there's going to be I think there's 14, 16 and 17 inch, which is just the inseam from the bottom of your boxer
Oh,
to
There's
where
no way. That's like
you're taking measurements.
18 inches is like down to my shin.
What?
Because think
Don't
of
that's what I
Got
have,
on
dude.
inches.
That's what I have.
Because think of like shorts. They're like 5-inch, 7-inch.
Brad doesn't.
Oh.
He doesn't know inches.
Okay,
He's
so
a metric guy.
so
I am.
Yeah, I do know a little bit about boxer, especially boxer briefs. Those are going to be longer, but they're going to fit like boxers, or they're going to fit like briefs, but they're going to be long like boxers. And I think you could get those in a 5, 6, or 7-inch inseam.
Yeah.
So then that inseam is from the bottom of your short to where it kind of the top, I guess, or in
The
where,
keystone.
the keystone, yeah, where your little nards
Good
are.
way to say it.
Yeah, so that's what boxer brief. I think that's what most. I mean, I think that's what if I mean, maybe there's some dudes out there still wearing the whitey tighty versions. I mean, I definitely understand in terms of like holding it up, holding everything in place. Your whitey tighties are probably going to be better for that than your just classic boxer brief.
Yeah.
When you think,
Probably only work if your thighs never touch each other.
yeah, which that's not my thing. I'm the big boy, and my thighs rub like that's their job.
Yeah.
I have never been on the trail with tidy whities, but I just feel that the loops going right around the inside there
all the time.
might be rubbing the wrong way.
So I will say that if you are somebody that's worried about making sure your twig and berries are nice and secure while on trail, and you don't necessarily feel comfortable in the whitey tighty, there is kind of this, I don't know how long it's been going on. You might know, Brad, but like maybe for the last 2 to 5 years, there's been this kind of another evolution in men's boxer briefs. Ex officios have them. That's my pair. Sax, SAXX brand is kind of seems to be the one that originated this process. Pioneered
What
it.
is this?
So Sax
Exotic
or
brand.
ex officios and other brands that are doing this, what it is a built-in pouch into the kind of a pouch that's in the inside of your boxer brief.
What
so
for?
it's made for your berries
Okay.
and your twig to nestle
That's good.
themselves.
Well, I guess all three.
Yeah, nestle this side. nestle your twig and berries to fit inside of.
Now I see.
So you kind of put those on; those sit inside of there. But then that pouch separates your nether regions from your thighs. So your thighs, so you're not getting that friction, you're not getting that sweat, you're not getting those microbes built up inside of there.
Yep.
And it's just supposed to be like an otherworldly event. Well, I will say my ex officios have those.
An otherworldly event.
Yeah, going on down there. Because as a 6'3" sweaty ass dude on trail, like, and it did. I mean, I told you plenty of times that like chafing is my demon on trail, and I didn't chafe one time. So I just really want to make sure that we nailed that in.
Okay, dudes, I think we've been going on and on and on about 3 items.
Yeah,
Pants,
who would have thought?
shorts, underwear. It never ends with us. It's unbelievable.
Well, you know what? It's all important.
Yeah.
Yes,
Pay
it
attention,
is.
do the right thing, get the stuff that's going to make you feel comfortable and keep you safe on trail.
Yeah, I think comfortable is and protected. Like
Yes.
the 2 number 1 things you need to worry about.
And when you get on the trail and you nail it, like everything's perfect, you're super comfortable. That's like a victory in itself.
Oh man, for
You
sure.
just focus on the trail.
Yeah.
Yep.
Less problems is better.
Yeah.
Even
Yep.
the small ones like chafing.
That's not small.
Dude, it's not small.
How
That's
dare
true.
you? How dare you?
It's not small. It's just, to
And I
me,
could- and I
was
could-
wonderful, man.
I could see that being something miserable enough to stop you from going out.
Oh,
So,
for
yeah.
sure. No,
Yeah.
big dudes out there, go get yourself a pair of good underwear.
Yeah,
man.
I think it's just as important as a good pair of boots that aren't going to tear your feet up.
And next week we're gonna have a guest on, and they're going to interview us.
Yeah.
about stuff. They're a friend, a listener of the pod, and they're gonna ask us questions to try to help clarify things that we may have skipped over, and
Awesome.
he's thinking about. So
Yeah, just a backpacker curious, outdoor curious person asking us questions.
Yeah.
That's going to be such a fun episode.
major conservation friend.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
right.
We're going to get interrogated
Yep.
Yeah,
on the mic.
be ready.
I'm not looking forward to this.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So that's the end of the episode.
Yep, that's it.
All righty. Well, thanks everybody for listening. We'll be back next week for another episode.
Yep.
Keep on sauntering.
Bye.